Welcome back to another tutorial. So this is going to be an Unreal Engine 4 tutorial, and what we're going to do today is create a sort of health heart particle system. What we want rising hearts. I've done a tutorial similar to this, but we did it in After Effects as a PNG sequence for a 2D game. Now I want to show you how we can take that same principle and apply it to a 3D game, just creating a custom particle effect, because I thought it looked really nice and it would look really good. You know, if you've got a character that gets hit and you lose some hearts, like Zelda style, or maybe you've got like a fountain, you know, that you can use to regenerate your health, and you want little hearts coming off that. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm inside Unreal. I'm just creating a basic template. I'm just going to create it in there. But first, let's create the heart. So what I'm going to do is just quickly jump myself into Sketchbook and draw a heart. Oops, that was not very good. I'm using a mouse. And third time's the charm. It'll do. Doesn't have to be perfect. Cool. Let's make sure that this part is important. We need to make sure that we don't have a background on. We want this effect here, because we are going to be saving as a PSG and we don't want any background. So I'm just going to save that real quick and we'll call it heart. Save it to our desktop. Oops, I saved that as a TIFF. This I'm going to be doing a PNG. Heart one's fine. Cool. So save that. Let's go into Unreal and import. So I'm going to try and explain everything as I'm going in Unreal, just in case you haven't used this before. It should be a fairly straightforward tutorial, but yeah, just watch what I'm doing, hopefully listen to what I'm saying, and it should be fine. So all I've done is I've imported this. It's coming as a texture. We don't want this as a texture, we want a material because we're creating an actual particle effect from this. So we right click and we go and we create material. So we can rename it, but ultimately Heart 1 material is fine for me. So let's double click and go into this and wait for this to load up a little bit. So on the left hand side we've got a whole bunch of options. This is what it's going to look like when it was in. This is what it's going to look like with our current material if we dragged and dropped it onto a sphere. We're not going to be using the sphere system, so we want to set our preview to a plane, and then we're going to be able to see what this looks like in a minute. Wow, my computer's acting nice and slow. Ultimately, what this is going to look like is it's going to look similar to this. We're going to have this gross red background nation, so let's get rid of that. And we're going to do so by setting this to additive. And on this bottom one, this is where we would hold our alpha information. We're going to drag this onto opacity. And when this decides to load, in theory, it should look good. It should look like we've just got a heart. Cool, so as you can see, we've just got the black around there, we've just got the heart because we're using that opacity, that alpha from there. So we are golden. Hit save on that and get out of here. Let's right click again, and this time we're going to create a new particle system. This one I will rename. I'm going to call it heart float, not that kind of float, party. I know what I mean. And double click in here to open our particle effects system. So there is a whole host of stuff in here. I'll probably create a tutorial at some point to actually discuss everything in here, but we're kind of just going to go through it relatively simply. You know, we'll just cover what we'll look at. I'll assume you've already got some prior knowledge in this, but if not, I'll still be explaining everything what we're doing. So at the moment we're spawning this. I don't even know how to describe that. This thing, we want to spawn our hearts. So if we click on required, it's set to our default, and we're just going to drag and drop our heart material in there. What I like to do as well while I'm doing this is actually drag my actual particle system over here on the left so I can see it in preview what it's going to look like in stage, and when it comes through I'll be able to see it in my viewport too. So it's just figuring out what it's trying to create. So we'll give that a second to get it done. And while we're in here, let's have a quick look at some of our options. So we're in the required section. In here we have a whole bunch of options. Most of them we're sort of not that bothered about. Apart from we can play with kill on computed, and we can play with our duration. Obviously the longer we put that, the more duration they'll go on to, and the shorter obviously it'd be a lot quicker. But let's just leave that at about 1. What we want to affect, however, is the spawn, because right now we are spawning a lot of these heart systems. Let's lower that. In the rate distribution, we will see this number, constant number. At the moment we're spawning 20. I mean, we really don't want to spawn that many. If we drop this down to, I find about 3, looks quite nice, gives us a nice bit of range. Yeah, that looks alright. And go across into our initial velocity. So what is almost think of this as the speed, the start speed. And you can play with this as well. So this is going to be your height. If we bump that up, the thing's going to go flying way too far. Actually, just going to drop that a little bit to about 80. And you can see it's not quite going as high, and we're getting a bit more bulking together. Cool. And another thing now, what we're going to do is we're going to add a new tool to our stack, a new sort of variable. So right click in the blank space around here, and we're going to get a whole host of options here. So we've got like lifetime and size and everything, but what we actually want to do is our size by life. Size by life. And we click on it to edit it, and we're going to again go into our drop downs. So here we have our drop downs. What I would like to do, and what I did in the other tutorial, is have the hearts get smaller towards the end. So start off fair sized and then get smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this bottom option here, and let's just roll this number a bit and so see what happens. Gets bigger, gets a lot bigger. So your instinct will tell you to go the opposite direction, but then it goes smaller and gets bigger. So if we're smart, we can figure out that 1 is constant, so we actually want to be on about 0.02, and it'll sort of get smaller before it disappears. Yeah, nice. And let's just put that up on all of them. I'm surprised that it's not actually started showing my material yet. I'm starting to get a bit worried. I think it's probably because I'm recording as well at the same time as running Unreal, and Unreal is a very processor heavy system, and obviously screen recording at the same time, it's not going to be awesome on it, but hopefully that'll figure itself out soon. But initially, that is what we've got there. So I mean, we do have a whole other host of things, but you know, if you want to toggle those and sort of play with them, you can do. But ultimately, I'd say these are your main ones that you're going to play with, especially to get the effect looking good. So let's put kill, stop self, and hit save on that. Let's get out of here. And I think that's looking pretty good. It would look better if it would load in the material. Give it a sec to do its thing. In fact, let's just delete it and re-put it back in, see how that looks. There we go. We now have our hearts spawning in. And at the moment, like I say, all I've done is I've just, sort of placed these, and you probably drop that like on, I can imagine that on some kind of well or some kind of item that's going to help recover your health, just to inform your player what they're going to do. Or it'd be really nice to, spawn upon like a collision, bring it in with your blueprints, add it with collision, just to pop in, do its thing once, and then go for every time you lose some health. So that is ultimately the quick, simple way of creating a nice little heart particle effect. I think actually it's going too high. I'm going to drop my velocity, but ultimately that looks quite good. Let's pull this to the side. So, yeah, never mind. Drop our velocity a bit, maybe about 60, and I'm actually going to increase the spawn to maybe about 4, and see how that looks. There we go. That is quite cool. And if you did want to have it on some item saying that this is what you play live, you probably spread it out a bit more. But ultimately, there you go. That is how we would create a simple heart style particle effect. Thanks for watching.